Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the flooded plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. I want to welcome everyone to Iowa City Noon Rotary. It's great to see everyone today. We're going to start off by introducing our visiting Rotarians and our guests. And I'd like to introduce our greeter today, Kelly Drown, to introduce our friends today. Kelly.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric.
With the financial advisor, I have a proposal in my pocket. Sean McIntyre, I don't think he's here today, though. So welcome.
It's wonderful when we hear potential new member applications, so keep bringing those guests. And I have two guests here with me today. I have Carol Bunsack. Carol is the Executive Officer of the Iowa City Area Home Builders Association. Many of you might know her. Welcome, Carol. And then I have Julia Winter. Julia, if you want to stand up. Julia is the Development Director for Community, a local nonprofit. So welcome, Julia. Now, if you have a Rotary-related announcement, I'd like to invite you to come to the podium. I know we have a few today. I do want to remind everyone, we've started the membership renewal dues process, and we've emailed the dues invoice to everyone, and we'll also get a hard copy in the mail tomorrow. And Madeline Windauer, if you want to raise your hand, Madeline is our treasurer, and she is happy. If you have your check here today, you can bring it to Madeline. She won't be here next week, but I believe in the following week she'll be here as well too. And we're asking everyone to submit their dues by June 15th this year. Patrick?
Hello, good afternoon. Patrick Donnelly here. I'm here to remind everybody about the upcoming golf outing that is sponsored jointly by our club here and the Ronald McDonald House. This is going to be our 20th year, and thought this was a good opportunity to say we are this close to $1 million raised. So that's pretty awesome. So the event is Monday, June 6th at Pink Pine Golf Course. It's an 11:45 shotgun start. That means everybody goes to a hole and everybody starts at the same time. Golf will be followed by dinner. It's a barbecue dinner, awards, raffle, and prizes. So we have different ways that people can participate in this. You don't have to be a golfer. We need volunteers for the event. We need sponsors for the event. We have different shifts for volunteers. So if you have any interest, any availability, please either contact me or you can contact the house directly. Heather or Jessica at the Ronald McDonald House would be happy to help. So thank you very much.
Hi, it's me again. I bet you're getting tired of seeing me up here. But I have these pins to give out, and I just want to honor the people that have the honor of giving and giving to the foundation, which is I'm chairman of the foundation for this club. And it's an honor for me to present these. And I will be doing that until they're all gone. And there'll be some next year. So anyway, today I want to present one to Jim Lane. There he is. Jim is a Paul Harris Fellow number 6. That means he's been in a long time. Quite a lot of money for the foundation. So Jim, can you say a few words about why the foundation?
Thank you, Vern. Well, I remember Bill O'Lean and Herb Wilson, two really stalwarts of this club, Herb stalwart of the district. They said, you know, when you go look at how well this foundation, the Rotary Foundation, manages money compared to other charitable organizations and how well they manage, down at 5 and 10% expenses versus 25 and 35 and 45. And you know something's getting done. And that was one reason. I knew it was going to go for a good cause. And then I like the little projects. Keep it simple, stupid. And there's a lot of great little projects that get done through Rotarians throughout the world with clubs joining up and getting things accomplished. And so, you know, sometimes I can't even find two cities who can agree on how to build a street. And yet we get clubs that are 6,000 miles apart putting in wells and water, sanitation and building schools and everything else. So I think Rotary has done a great job, and I will continue to contribute to this great organization. Thank you.
Jim gets a pin with a ruby in it this time. When you get to this level, then you get a ruby before that you get a sapphire. So. Okay. And then I'm also very pleased to present one to Doris Crusoe, and I'm just going to bring it over to you, Doris, so you don't have to get up. You're fine. But Doris, it's Paul Harris number 5 or 6 here. 5, I think it is. So Doris, you get one with 5 sapphires yet. Next year, you'll get the one with the blue.
Congratulations again to Doris and to Jim, and thank you for everyone who supports the Great Rotary Foundation and the great work they do, not just here locally, but around the globe. It's wonderful work. We're going to try to do an announcement on Zoom, and last week we had one of our computers crash on Zoom, so we're testing out a new one here. But why we do that, if you guys could also introduce our Zoom guests today. I know we have several folks joining us on Zoom. So we're going to introduce our Zoom guests, and then we have Tara Manetos is going to talk about a Habitat for Humanity bill that we are doing later this month.
You're up on the screen, all you beautiful Zoom people. Hey, Tara, Brent, Bill Stanford, Gary Pasha, John Kenyon, Robin, John Colshaw, Mike Carberry, Amy Nicholson, Diane, Brent Bonner, and Andrea Rhodes. Welcome to all of you. Good to see you. And earlier we had tested extensively and figured out that we couldn't hear y'all. But Tara, do you want to give it just one shot?
Okay, can you hear me?
Nope, no love. All right. We can do this. We can do this in a different way. We can call you. I know, so advanced. So advanced. She's waiting. She's ready. Here we go. Says, don't pick it up. It's Devin. Don't do it.
Hear me now. Hear me now. Okay, well, thank you for letting me join remotely. Too bad I can't see everyone's faces, but just wanted to have one almost final reminder of our upcoming Habitat for Humanity bill that's happening on Saturday, May 21st. You can either sign up for 8 to noon or 1 to 5 p.m. or both if you're ambitious. This is a build over in the Peninsula neighborhood on Barber Place. So Habitat for Humanity is great. You can just show up. You don't need to have any skills or special equipment, and they'll teach you how to build affordable housing. So love to see everyone out there. I'm going to put the link in the Zoom chat in a few minutes. Thanks.
Thanks, Tara.
So we've got a great program today, and it's kind of funny. We're going to hear about Summer of the Arts, and today definitely feels like summer. So very apt that you're here today, Lisa. And remind me who's doing the introduction. All right, Shaner, if you want to come forward and introduce our speaker today, please help me welcome Shaner.
I'm getting so damn old. Gotta wear reading glasses now. My name is Shaner Magallanes, for those of you that don't know me. I am a member of the club. I even have the name tag to prove it. Been a realtor for many years in town, and in the course of my work as a real estate agent, one of the things that, of course, we highlight, all of us as real estate agents, is just the amazing amenities that the communities have and so forth. But I, in particular, have always highlighted the Summer of the Arts events. And when I talk to people, especially from out of state, they're just amazed that we have that level of programming for free in a community this size. And I often get follow-up messages from those clients after they've moved in, after they've gone to Arts Fest or Jazz Fest, whatever, and they say, "Holy cow, Shaner, you weren't kidding. These are amazing events. You get great entertainers and artists and so forth." So you're in for a real treat today. I know all of you are familiar with some of the arts, but we're going to dive in even further today. And I'm really happy that Lisa is here, because even though I'm on the board, there's no way I could give justice to talking about some of the arts like she can. So I'll introduce Lisa, but also want to mention Eric Johnson is here. He was here a couple weeks ago as a guest, and he's here today supporting Lisa and myself. He's the development director for Summer of the Arts. Lisa's been the executive director of Summer of the Arts since November 2009. Seems like it's been longer than that, and shorter at the same time somehow. Prior to that, she worked as a meeting planner at Pearson, ran her own conference association management business for 13 years, working with a wide range of clients. She has a BA in journalism from the University of Iowa. That must be why she's so diligent about grammar and all that stuff, which is awesome. Spent many years volunteering in the Iowa City area with Meeting Professionals International, Girl Scouts, Regina Education Center, coaching, and much more. She actually has spare time, apparently, according to her bio. So in her spare time, she enjoys doing puzzles, reading, going to movies, and various sports. I decided to embellish a little bit on this, not embellish, but she's too humble to say these things. She was recently voted as one of the top 250 leaders in the corridor by the Corridor Business Journal, a great honor, and we're very appreciative of that as a board. The other thing that sort of goes in with that is it's been amazing to us on the board how she and the staff have been able to navigate the incredible challenges that we've had with COVID, of course, and still be able to provide programming. We did, online arts fairs, things like that, just to make sure that we were still putting out, this product and programming that the community has come to love. So that's been absolutely amazing. And probably the most impressive thing about Lisa is that she's able to deal with really challenging and difficult board members like myself. So she gets huge kudos for that. With no further ado, Lisa Barnes. Try to put this back up there, but I failed.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate being invited to join me today and talk more about Summer of the Arts. It's something I love. It's something that I'm very passionate about. And I think part of the reason Shaner thinks it's been longer than 13 years or whatever it is I was actually a founding board member in 2005 and a interim executive director in 2007. Then I spent a couple of years as a key volunteer and then came back full time again in 2009. So I've been involved with Summer of the Arts ever since the organization was formed. I'm one of those people that came to Iowa City for college and stayed. I love Iowa City. And my mom many years ago had lived in Florida, retired, moved back to Iowa City because she loved Iowa City and lived here for 20 years before she passed. So love Iowa City, love this community and being involved. And as Shaner said, we're so proud of what we're able to do at Summer of the Arts with a pretty small staff of 4 people. And so we definitely count on great volunteers and board members like Shaner. And when Shaner contacted me saying, oh, I guess I missed the deadline, I was interested in joining the board, I said, send me the application, you're in, because I've known him for a long time. So I understand that there's some audio problems, but I am going to go ahead and ask Devin to play this short video. This was actually produced by a multimedia intern we had last summer after the 2021 Arts Fest, which you may recall got moved to August, which was a very interesting experience. Last year, we ended up having our 3 weekend festivals within 6 weeks. It was challenging. We're very happy to have Arts Fest back in June this year and have Jazz Fest still at the beginning of July. And we've actually moved the Soul and Blues Festival into September, which was the original date of the Iowa Soul Festival. So we're excited for that change too. So this is a combination of different video shots. We had drone footage, showing all the different things that go on at Arts Fest. It's our largest event, takes over about 9 downtown city blocks. And we figured that this would kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what we do. They wants to sing along to it. That's fun. Beverage garden, I do want to call out Sustainable Landscape Solutions. They do that beautiful landscaping in our beverage garden for us. Trying to make it feel a lot more hospitable. And you see lots of dogs at the festival. So there are also video recaps from last year of the Jazz Fest, which, how many of you were at the Jazz Fest last year? That was our first live in-person event last year. And it was one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen, like since 2007 when we had the Derek Trucks Band. So it was absolutely amazing having Corey Wong as our headliner. I think everybody, was so over the pandemic, they were just excited to get out and see their friends and stuff. And it was a great event. So hopefully this year, things will go back up as far as, people not having COVID, and we'll get more people out. Okay, we're going to go to my PowerPoint. I'm not used to doing this with a clicker, so I just click the middle button to advance it. Okay. Aha! All right, so this is just a very brief history. As I mentioned, Summer of the Arts was formed in 2005, and the idea behind it was to bring together these long-standing events to share resources, to share marketing, development, operational resources. And so the primary goal originally was Arts Fest and Jazz Fest, but then also included was the Friday Night Concert Series. And then the Saturday Night Free Movie Series had been a pilot program in 2005. So that became the 4th event. So those are our 4 founding events. And okay, apparently it's got transitions. Thank you. Thank you. And you can see down at the bottom, there are a lot of different programs that we have produced over the years. Some of them have transitioned, like Music IC is now under the City of Literature. Sand in the City went away. Sorry about that, guys. The Iowa Soul Festival became the Soul and Blues Festival, not the Soul and Blues Festival, Soul and Blues Festival. But I love this picture from Sand in the City. And people always ask, whatever happened to Sand in the City? And any of you who ever attended that event, it was a great event. When you're there, it was a nightmare to produce. It took us longer to produce that one event than all of our other events combined. There were like 3 to 4 trainings that we had to go through, recruiting sponsors, recruiting teams, artwork. It was just kind of a nightmare to produce, but it was a really cool event. So the organization's mission is to build community by bringing people together in the Iowa City area to experience, learn about, and enjoy free arts and cultural programs. If you've been to our programs over the years, we do occasionally charge for an event. We may have a ticketed event at Jazz Fest or something like that. but it doesn't happen very often. I would say 98% of our programming is free to the public. So we want to make sure that the arts are accessible to everybody. And that also is part of what has changed some of our programming this year is arts access. This is a lineup of what we do now. We have 8 different programs that we produce, and you can see I've got, when everything started. Arts Fest is our longest running event. This is the 40th year of the Iowa Arts Festival, which I think is really impressive. And personally, it's one of my favorite events, first of all, because I love art, which is why this was always my dream job when this organization was formed, but also just because of the size and scope and variety of things that happen. And you'll also note down at the bottom, we did start producing the Holiday Thieves Market in 2019 when the UI Fine Arts Council folded, so they were going to cancel it. And we jumped in and said, no, we love to see that. We know how to do an art fair. And we actually held it at the IMU in 2019. 2020, obviously couldn't do it. 2021, we moved it out to the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Love the ambiance of the IMU, but honestly, from an artist standpoint, it's so much easier as far as the accessibility out at the Hyatt Regency. And again, free. You don't have to pay $5 to get in there. So I wanted to share with you our funding resources because this is something that people asked about. Again, we're not getting revenue from tickets and that kind of thing. So I just did a general breakdown of where our money comes from. And you can see our sponsors, our business sponsors and partners make up the vast majority of our funding. There's so much going on in Iowa City and it's getting more and more competitive for those sponsorship dollars, which makes Eric's job rather challenging, but he's been with us for a year. He's getting the hang of it now, which is great. And he's very passionate about what we do, as we all are, so that really helps. But 38%, that's not a very high percentage. City support, we are so grateful to the city of Iowa City. They have always supported Summer of the Arts since the organization was formed, but their contribution on an annual basis is about 12% of our budget. And then you can see it kind of goes down from there. And I included the other donations, the bucketing at 4%. Eat for the Arts, that's our partnership, like Eat Out for the Schools, Dine for the Schools, Eat Out for Education, that's it. All of the different things that a lot of nonprofits do. Ours is called Eat for the Arts. And we actually yesterday had an Eat for the Arts evening at the sanctuary. We really appreciate, again, those are small businesses. Those are our local restaurants that are supporting us. And all you have to do is take advantage of a great local restaurant and you're also helping to support Summer of the Arts. So it's really important. You can see our individual donors is only 11% of our budget. It's a very, very small percentage. And that's one of the things that Eric's been working on is trying to meet more people, tell our story. Hope you enjoy what we do and try to ask people, would you consider financially supporting us? You can do monthly donations. You can do $10 a month, set it up either as ACH or through our online donation. It's super easy and it makes a huge difference. That really adds up for us. Here's our staff. We have a staff of 4, as I mentioned. And this summer, Terry, our production director, is actually retiring at the end of July. So we do technically have a 5th staff member, but right now he's only in 1 day a week. Our production manager, Chris Cervantes, who's going to be taking over for Terry. So we have our 4 full-time staff members, and obviously we're producing 8 events each year. So there's a lot involved with that. So now let's look at what we have planned for this year. We're actually kicking things off tomorrow night on the Ped Mall with the first Friday night concert series. And this is a partnership with University of Iowa's Art Share program. They wanted to bring the Iowa Steel Band since it's graduation weekend, add to the downtown ambiance. And we're like, sure, let's go ahead and do it because we traditionally kick off the following weekend with our high school bands, which I'm very excited about. We run through August 19th. I do want to say in most years we would have gone to the following weekend, but you guys may have heard something. There was supposed to be this big event at Hanter called the Big Splash. That was scheduled for that weekend, so we didn't schedule anything, and then that got canceled, unfortunately. But we're really excited because we've got a lot of old favorites coming back, and then we have some new bands too that we've never had before. And so we think we've got a great lineup. Ped Mall on a Friday night, there's nothing better than that. Bring your chairs down. Great place to people watch, all kinds of fabulous restaurants, and always great live music. 6:30 to 9:30, although tomorrow is 6:30 to 8. free movie series. I'm doing this in chronological order, so not to confuse anybody. Normally, our free movie series doesn't kick off until June, but this year, because of the special event that's being put on by City Public Works and the Quilters Guild on May 21st at the Public Works facility, we're partnering, and they asked us to show Field of Dreams on Napoleon Park, so at the softball fields, so that'll be fun. One of the changes with the free movie series is we were downtown for 15 years on the Pentecrest. And when Film Scene opened Film Scene in the Park, we partnered with them last year. They have a little bit different angle than we do. And we were kind of getting out in the neighborhoods too. And we just decided that that's what we really wanted to focus on, is taking our programming out into the neighborhoods, into the communities. We tried doing that. Well, we started doing that in 2020 with what at that time was a truckload of Seoul and having drive-in movies at the Iowa City Municipal Airport. And we really like that. We like being able to take the arts out into our community. So you'll see from this schedule, we're all over the place. And we're so excited about that. It's like, I think there's one park that I don't know for sure where it is. I'm gonna have to find for the movies, but we'll get there. It's not a problem. And with 4 of these movies that we're partnering with Iowa City Parks and Rec, they're going to have games and activities before the movies. We also have Z102.9 is coming to 3 of the movies. Moo Moo's Ice Cream, which you saw in that video, they're going to be at the movies. And so we're really excited to bring some great movies to the community. In general, the movies start after sundown. It kind of depends on the location and how much shade there is. So when we were on the Pentecrest, it was great because we had McBride Hall blocking any sun, lots of trees. We could start the movie early. Not so much at the Iowa City Airport. You have to wait until about a half hour after the sun sets before you can start the movie, but it's still a lot of fun. Iowa Arts Festival. Anybody excited to see Asleep at the Wheel? Couple people. That's good. We actually had them booked in 2020. We were really excited. That was supposed to be their 50-year touring. And so it's still their 50-year touring. I think it just got delayed a couple years. And so we're excited to have them Saturday night. And as I mentioned, you know, Iowa Arts Festival is one of my favorite events because of everything that goes on and because of the arts and the artists. We'll have about 90 artists this year. We have been cutting back on the number of artist booths a little bit. Last year it was primarily because of the pandemic, and we wanted to make sure we had adequate space between the booths, and everybody loved it, the attendees and the artists. And so we decided, okay, we're going to keep space between the booths, and it worked really nicely, and we want everybody to be successful. So yeah, we have some fun things. I have the wrong graphic in there. I will tell you on Saturday, Pinnacon Drift and Dickey are not at 1 and 2:30 a.m. Those are PM. So sorry about that. Yeah, no kidding. And then there will be entertainment on the Ped Mall stage on Saturday from 11 to 7 and on Sunday from 11 to 4. Music on the Move. I mentioned briefly in 2020, this was started by Kevin Burt as a truckload of soul. We renamed it last year and we expanded, and we had Kevin Burt and Dave Zolo performing. This year, through a partnership with Iowa City Parks and Rec, they have their weekly Rec and Roll program where they take games and activities out to different parks all throughout the Iowa City area. And in meeting with Brad Barker, he's like, yeah, we kind of wanted to do music. And I said, hey, how about if we bring music on the move? It fits, it's very appropriate. So we're very excited about it. We have 4 amazing local performers that will be performing throughout the summer at all these different locations. Very laid back. Again, you know, it's all ages. You don't have to have little kids coming and doing the rec programs. You know, anybody who's interested, if you're a Dave Zolo fan, come out and listen to it because it's going to be a lot of fun. Those are also 6:30 to 8. Northside Concert Series. This is something that we started in 2019. And the idea was the Northside businesses said, hey, we know you're really successful on the Ped Mall with the Friday night concert series. How about if you do some concerts on the north side on North Lynn Street? So the first year, what we did is once a month, we moved the concert from the Ped Mall to the north side. And then of course the businesses on the Ped Mall are like, no, you need to be here every week. And so we changed it. And last year we moved those Northside concerts to Saturday night. And that's worked really nicely for us. And we're very excited about the lineup. We have 6 different evenings that will have performances on the north side. Same time as it is with the Friday night concert series, 6:30 to 9:30. Again, bring your lawn chairs, or They have that half block now already closed and some picnic tables, great food and drink around that area. So come on down and check out those concerts. Iowa City Jazz Festival. We probably should have shown that video. Yeah. Those of you who were there last year, Corey Wong was absolutely amazing. And like I said, such a great crowd for that. We got some fabulous drone footage. So again, you can go to Summer of the Arts YouTube channel and just check out its 2021 Iowa City Jazz Festival recap is what it's called. This year, I think we've got a great lineup. And I do want to mention Friday night, we're back on the Ped Mall. We did that last year and it actually worked really well. So we have 2 local groups performing first. And then thanks to Hancher, we actually have Terrence Simeon and the Zydeco Experience performing as well on Friday night. And if you have not seen Terrence Zydeco, you need to be there. He performed at the Friday Night Concert Series many, many years ago when Hancher had him traveling through doing a bunch of shows. This man performed for 3 hours straight without a break. And we're like, Terrence, you could take a break. It's okay. No, nope. And, you know, he has all of his beads and he's handing out beads to the crowd and everybody's up and dancing. It is so high energy and so much fun. Our staff is actually going to be out setting up on the streets, getting ready for moving to the streets the next 2 days. And we're all like, all right, we need to be done at 8 o'clock. What time is security here? We want to go over to the Ped Mall and watch Terrence Simeon. Nothing against the other bands because they'll be great too. But, you know, this is a very unique opportunity to have Terrence there. So we appreciate Hancher bringing him in for us. The city fireworks, I do want people to know that's Saturday night, the 2nd. One of the changes that we made this year is we changed the schedule of Jazz Fest to match Arts Fest. So we're done at 4 o'clock on Sunday. And the primary reasons for that, quite frankly, is the amount of time it takes to tear down and reopen streets. And we need to get that done sooner. In the past, if we had to wait and start at 10:30 at night, I had times where I was up till 5 a.m. trying to get everything packed and put away and streets open, and kind of hard on staff, but it's also important that we get those streets open as quickly as possible. But we have some amazing performers. We're also with the Jazz Fest. It's going to be a similar setup to last year, where we have the main stage on Clinton Street. At the other end of Clinton Street by Washington is the side stage. And we alternate and do 1 hour performances. So you're not going to miss anything. You can watch the main stage and then just walk down the street and you can enjoy the side stage performance at the same time. You don't have to choose. You can enjoy everything. The Soul and Blues Festival, as I mentioned, is moving to September 23rd and 24th. It's also moving locations. We've been on Iowa Avenue for a few years and we're moving up on Clinton Street. So same main stage location as Arts and Jazz. It'll be on Clinton Street near the intersection with Iowa Avenue. And we're pretty excited about this lineup. If any of you are familiar with blues legend, Mayor Teague is familiar with, Gloria Hardiman. She helped us with the booking and is bringing in some of her friends, few of her friends from Chicago, and just amazing performers. Mike Wheeler Band is going to be such high energy. And another correction needs to be made. The DL Perkins Singers, it's gospel. And we had gospel in one of the early years of the Iowa Soul Festival. Absolutely amazing. We actually had the Hargrove Family Choir one of those early years, and absolutely amazing. So we're really excited to kick things off on Saturday with that. Funk Daddies used to perform at Friday night concerts, haven't had them in a while. They're going to be a fun Friday night, and it's kind of the same timeline as what a Friday night concert typically is, which is 6:30 to 9:30. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some changes this year. We're still going to have the Black Business Owners Forum. We are still going to have the Black Authors Panel, but we're also going to have another program for youth, middle school and high school kids, performing, reading their poetry, their short essays, rapping, spoken word, that kind of thing. And that's going to take place at 4 o'clock on Saturday at United Action for Youth. So right down the street from where the festival is taking place. And then, as I mentioned before, the Holiday Thieves Market will be back at the Hyatt Regency at the beginning of December. We are planning this year to have around 75 artists. If anybody's been to any of the craft fairs out there, they really pack them in. We don't do that. We want you to really enjoy the fine artists that we bring in. It is a juried fine art show, just like the Iowa Arts Festival. And so we have experts review and score those artists to make sure that we have the quality that we want. And I mentioned early on, we're always looking for volunteers, and this can be volunteering at one of our events. It can be joining the board or joining one of the committees if you're really passionate about the Jazz Festival or the Arts Festival or Soul and Blues Festival or Friday night concerts and you're familiar with a lot of the local bands. We're always looking for people interested in joining those committees. And I think at the end of this, info at Summer of the Arts, that goes into myself and also Andrea Truitt, our community relations manager. So if you have inquiries about volunteering, Andrea manages our volunteers. I'm happy to answer any questions. And that is my presentation, unless you have questions for me. Oh, just want to mention too, Eric passed around these cards. We do have some additional quantities. So if you want to take a few back to your office, you can just stop and see Eric and he's happy to give you some. The way we did it this year, as you can see, we have concerts on one card and then what we're calling our neighborhood events on the other card with Music on the Move and the free movie series. And questions, Shaner? About the interns? Oh, yes, sorry. Shaner asked about University of Iowa interns that we work with each year. So typically we have anywhere from 4 or 5 interns up to as many as 13 we've had in the past. The majority of them are from the University of Iowa. We did have a graphic design intern this year who was actually a Kirkwood student. We've had a little bit of a challenge with University of Iowa as far as getting those types of interns, but we work with their event management program and their nonprofit certificate program to recruit interns, and they're a huge help to us. Like I said, with 4 of us, it's hard to get everything done. We had 2 amazing development interns last fall that worked with Eric, and one of them, as an assignment, had to actually put together a grant application for an organization. So she worked with Andrea, who does our grants, and got us a $5,000 grant. So it's like, yay, good job, Kayla. And both of those girls are graduating this weekend, and they both have full-time jobs already lined up. So we've had some really great interns. And Chris Cervantes, who is going to be taking over for Terry as our production manager, was an intern with us in 2018. So it's nice to be able to have those people be able to come on staff with us too. Other questions? Yes. The question is, are there plans to move the stage for Jazz Fest back in front of the old Capitol? Not at this time. A couple of things impact that. One is we're using a different stage now. Because of cost, we had to go to a slightly smaller stage, which is more of a mobile stage. It's a little challenging trying to get it up onto the Pentecrest. And honestly, the other part of it is all the other logistical pieces with trying to be on the Pentecrest. It's not that there was a problem with the relationship with the university. It's really operational and logistics wise is the challenge. I will not ever say never, because it is such a beautiful setting. You know, we had the Soul Festival up there a couple of years too, but not at this time. Other questions? I will say, I hate this weather. I hope we don't have this weather at the festivals. It's too hot, especially when you're out there all day. Last year I discovered Gatorade and it made a big difference for me during the events when it's hot. But yeah, we appreciate being here again and sharing our story. Yes, Devin. Yes. Oh, okay. So the question was, is there anybody who's kind of a sleeper on the schedule with all the performers and stuff that we have? And Eric just reminded me, one of our favorites was actually at the Soul and Blues Fest last year, and that's Ivy Ford out of Chicago. And we actually brought her back this year for Arts Fest, and she will be opening for Asleep at the Wheel on Saturday night. This woman is amazing. She plays like 5 different instruments, and during her performance, she moved from, drums to, I don't even remember what all she played. She came out into the audience and was dancing in the audience, and she just puts on a heck of a show. So that's one that I'm really, really excited about. Any other questions? I talk really fast, so I apologize. I always tell my interns if I go too fast, please stop me. Well, again, if you have any questions going forward or want more information on volunteering, info@summerofthearts.org, lisa@summerofthearts.org. All of us, our emails are just our first names and they're fairly normal spellings. Terry is Terri, Eric is Eric, Andrea, normal spelling, Lisa, normal spelling. Thank you so much for having me.
Lisa, thank you so much for being our speaker today. I know the work that you do at Summer of the Arts really enriches our community, and it's a point of pride for Iowa City, so thank you again. So in honor of our speaker, every week we make a donation, Lisa, to the Rotary Polio Plus program, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches that 2-to-1. So that'll result in 70 polio vaccinations around the world in your honor. So it's one small way we thank our speaker, so thank you again. Thank you, Lisa. Final reminders, watch for your Rotary invoice to come in the mail soon. And our past president, Barb Thomas, helped us put together a summary highlighting a lot of the great work that our Rotary committees did this past year. That'll be in with your invoice too, so make sure you look at that as well. Our program next week is Charlie Becker. Charlie is the executive director of Camp Courageous. They're an inspirational camp up in Jones County for people with special needs. Charlie presented here a few years ago. He'll be back to give an update to us. And also Charlie went to Ukraine last month to deliver medical supplies. So he's got kind of a story about what he saw firsthand going on in Ukraine as well. And with that, we like to conclude our meetings with the Rotary four-way test. I'd ask everyone to stand. We'll put the four-way test on the slide here. If you could please join me. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Hope everyone has a wonderful week and we are adjourned.